on the chain. This is Jeff coming from a crazy undisclosed location. Tonight, we are going to talk about, what was that? 90 days to settlement? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Ripple, XRP, Bitcoin, and all sorts of other great digital assets out there. And Bitrue actually went live today with their new yield hub. What's that all about?
We're going to jump into it. Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
We are going to jump into it. And yeah, I think we should jump probably headfirst into the shallow one. You know why, Jeff? That way you get maximum impact. If you jump headfirst into the shallow one,
Coining 203 sounds like someone's buying me dinner. Absolutely not.
Oh, no, dude. No.
We're gonna steakhouse. I've got a seat all picked out.
Yeah, it sounds like someone's buying you dinner, but it's not exactly. So you can see thinking that that's what's going to happen.
Someone might be buying you dinner, but it
might not be us. I mean, it's, you know, it might be somebody. It might be, yeah, it's possible. But I wanted to, I guess, while we're on that kick right there, Jeff, this is probably congratulations are in order here, because who do we have that bet with? None other than Coining, Alex, and Mr. B. And Mr. B got a new gig this week.
He did.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. So Mr. B, beloved community member. This is him right here, Mr. B right there. It's Nick Burrafato. And he's now working for Linqto. And he put out this video right here. Of course, I got to stop sharing it to be able to play the audio on it, Jeff.
We need some audio.
We need audio, but let's do this again. So let's share it again. And let's hear what Nick has to say.
He's going to say there's not going to be a settlement.
Probably what he's going to say. I was thinking that, Jeff, on the same lines. Because look at the somber face. Like, there's no way. So now
that's definitely pretty somber.
And he's Burns
Steakhouse menu.
He's the new director of digital asset sales at Linqto, which is pretty cool. And that's private investing made simple. And if you guys know and follow Linqto, you can buy pre-IPO shares of Ripple and a lot of other companies as well. But let's listen in to Mr. B here.
Hello, my name is Nick Burrafato, and I'm the director of digital asset sales at Linqto. Linqto is a leader in providing accredited investors access to affordable investment opportunities in the world's top unicorns, such as Ripple, Uphold, Kraken, BitPay, and many others at an industry low investment point of just $10,000. We do this with absolutely no fees to buy, no fees to maintain, and no fees to deliver your shares after the companies go public. The way we offer these investments to our members is by providing early returns to founders, early investors, and employees who would like to liquidate their shares. Whether you're interested in becoming an accredited investor member at Linqto, or a shareholder of an emerging company who would like to discuss selling your shares, we want to hear from you. Please email me directly at nick@linqto.com, and we will be happy to help. Linqto is private investing made simple. Hello, my name is Nick.
Okay, Rick.
One more time.
You're still playing in my ear over here. I'm like, okay, that's enough. We got it.
We got loud. Mass adoption. I like listening to you guys, but stop making timelines. Stop making the predictions.
Who's this?
Mass adoption.
Who's doing that?
Mass adoption. It's getting old. Getting old, Chip.
Yeah, well, that's why if you watch the show a lot and you follow the show, you start getting this, how it works. And if you don't get how it works, you'll probably know and learn how it works tonight, because there's always a reason behind. If you watch the show with Jeff on Saturday, people were like flipping out, going crazy because Jeff put on the thumbnail, XRP is not 20.022 compliant. And he's right, because RippleNet is. It's a messaging system, right? It's an updated messaging system. XRP, the digital asset, no digital assets are. So again, that caused a lot of confusion. We had to change the thumbnail, and that's what it is. So, you know, people talk about thumbnails. We do signal here, not noise. We don't do a lot of predictions here. You don't do price predictions here at all. We don't do that. So if you guys follow along, you'll kind of see how it works, and it's okay. I mean, we sort of play into it a little bit because it's a lot of fun. And
hey, gents.
Right, Jeff?
Sure, Mr. B heard that we were talking about Burn Steakhouse.
Did Mr. B come in? Hey, gents.
He's right.
Mr. B, back it up a little bit because we just did a big shout out to you and congratulations to you on your new gig, the digital director of digital asset sales over at Linqto. We just were showing that. So very cool. Very congratulations are in order. And of course, you promote a little bit of Linqto there. And then, of course, this one here, Linqto put this out. Happy Saturday, folks. Give a warm welcome to Nick Burrafato, Linqto's director of digital asset sales. Reach out to Nick if you have any questions related to emerging technology. Great to have you on the team. Of course, I tweeted a congratulations and Linqto did a retweet on that too. But it's cool. It's a really great concept, cool concept there. And again, you can stay ahead of the curve. I know a lot of people that have bought some pre-Ripple and Uphold stuff pre-IPO. So reach out to Nick. It's nick@linqto.com. I hope I said that right. But anyway, so yeah, congrats are in order, man. That's always very cool. What else do we have?
Congratulations. Well, now he's got the big gig, so affording Burn Steakhouse won't be such a big deal.
Right, Jeff. That's a good point because we were talking about this bet. And of course, if you saw the thumbnail, how it came in there. Let's throw this in there a little bit. Let's throw this one video. We'll go watch the other one too. But you know, if you saw the thumbnail and we talked about, let's say how did we arrive at that, Jeff? Let's find out, how did we arrive at that? Well, it's very simple. Today we had John Deaton, who appeared on Linqto, did an interview with them, and that's kind of where this came from. So we got a whole lot of Linqto coming here tonight. And if we go,
Links to the Linqto.
Linqto, man. So if I share the screen again and make sure this time,
that's what we got.
Yeah, gotta make sure that I share the right one, Jeff. Here it is right here. So this is Backup Bradley, at Backup Bradley, who you know better as Brad Kimes, and he tweeted this out. You know, John Deaton sits down with Linqto, Ripple wins. So let's just play this video here, and let's see what John has to say.
And say that that Ripple gets that. Same thing with the Ethereum and Bitcoin documents. Or she could say, no, SEC, you've taken this position that the Hinman speech and the whole thing was a personal opinion, and therefore it's not privileged, and it turns over. Chances are, it's hard for me to imagine that the judge is going to say that all of the documents are privileged and protected. It's hard for me to imagine that she's going to say all of them are not. So it'll be interesting where she says these documents must be turned over and these other documents don't have to be. And why is it taking so long? Because she knows how significant of an issue this is. If the documents are turned over and they're really, really helpful to Ripple, I would predict a settlement within 90 days of that, of Ripple getting the documents in their position, right? It could happen faster, it could take longer, but that to me is the most important part of the case, along with the fair notice. I don't think the judge is going to strike the fair notice defense. Doesn't mean Ripple wins, but it, they can at least argue it. So this DPP privilege issue is the single biggest factor to me in this case. And I think that this judge, Netburn, is just crossing her T's, dotting her I's, and whoever it helps or doesn't help knows that it's going to be an issue on appeal. And therefore she's trying to make sure that she doesn't get overturned, I guess. You know what I mean?
So there you go, Jeff. So there's where the 90 days came from. And really, it's very specific, too. It's if the DPP is granted and Ripple gets its hands on those documents, then that's where John Deaton is predicting. John Deaton, notice I didn't say Chip and Jeff, but John Deaton's predicting that there could be a settlement within 90 days. But again, that's one thing that probably has to happen. And I ultimately think, we've said this time and time again, if you guys have ever watched even a little bit of the show, but we always say that it doesn't matter what we think. It's really what Brad Garlinghouse said. If they can't get, if the SEC can't come on and say, okay, get it. Today's XRP is not a security. Whatever it was, and you want to go back, 8 years, whatever, that's fine. Jeff, what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, I think, he's spot on. The way he, brings that up, and he said it could happen a little if everything falls into place, right? So it could be a little less, could be more, but he's predicting around 90 days. So it could still go on. So who knows exactly how things are going to be interpreted? Who knows exactly how things will unfold? Only, the judge and the attorneys at this point know how this is going to continue. And who knows what the SEC is going to come up with at the end of the day. I mean, so far it's been nothing but insanity. So
Yeah.
maybe we'll get a little bit more of that insanity, or maybe things will finally start settling down, and they'll reach an agreement, and the judge will rule, and that'll be the end of that. And so then we're looking at having a nice summer.
Yeah. That's what could possibly happen. And you got a little video crushing going on there. I suspect it's the location. It's getting worse, Jeff. But I want to throw this up there. Mass adoption. He says that last comment wasn't meant to be demeaning. Just by now, we know that there have been repeated timelines mentioned. None knows for sure. And again, I really like listening to you guys. Much respect. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. But again, we don't really quote timelines either. Of course, Mr. B and Coining 203, Alex, think there's going to be a settlement. Okay. And I honestly, I don't see the SEC. The SEC settles. They're pretty much done, Jeff. They're done. There's not going to be any more. Who are they going to go after next? I mean, they can go after Ethereum, but I mean, really, realistically, who are they going to go after?
They're leaving the door open for Ethereum. At least Gary Gensler is.
Yeah, potentially, right?
Yeah.
Potentially, that's what's going to happen. So that was the very first clip too. There's another good clip here too. Then this one was tweeted out by DAI Digital Asset Buy, and he tweeted this particular one out. And this is interesting too, because we've certainly. Oh yeah, so let me make sure that I share the right thing again. Here we go. But one of the things that John Deaton talks about here is something that I think is really key too. The whole idea of XRP as a currency. So this is interesting. Let's put it full screen. Let's go play it.
And as I told Joe before, in our brief to the judge, we cite Linqto. So, you can tell your lawyers there that you're already in the game, because we cite to the fact that that XRP is used as a currency to buy underlying real security Ripple shares. And so that's
our customers understand that distinction as well. They understand the difference between equity and Ripple and XRP, the token, and nobody's confused that they're the same thing. And if they were the same thing, it would make no sense to us to use XRP as a currency in the way that we're doing to provide them with rewards, right? We'd simply, sell them less of the security if they were one and the same thing, but they're not.
And as I.
Yeah, Joe's making a really good point there. It's like the only one that's confused about this, Jeff, seems to be Gary Gensler and crew. Of course, I don't want to say in crew because Hester Pierce, I don't want to pull her into it because she was out on Twitter today talking about some more revisions to the safe harbor, which I think are pretty interesting too. I don't know if we'll have enough time to get into that too. But
is that the one that Gary is still not read?
Gary doesn't have time to read. He's too busy doing interviews with people that apparently. I don't know what he's doing, but I will tell you this: the bigger shock for me.
So we got to find out.
Yeah, the bigger shock is one of the top two business people on Fox Business. Obviously Charles Gasparino, who's just been outstanding, and Charles Payne, which I love Charles Payne, and that's just the best thing. So Charles Payne has been trying to get Gary Gensler on the show, and someone said, "But you won't go on Fox with the." And basically, let's look at this tweet here because this kind of like sums it up here. So Gensler said, "I'll be on Squawk Box CNBC this morning at 8:30. Tune in, XRP." And then,
man, I totally missed.
Dr. Pavlov 17 says, "But you won't go on Fox with Charles Payne."
Of course not.
Of course not, because he goes out and get the softball questions. Going on CNBC is like going into the West Wing of the SEC suite over there, right? It's like softball questions. Geez, Gary, what do you think about this Ripple lawsuit? Well, I can't get into any specifics about the lawsuit, and I'm not going to tell you which asset. Okay, but you're telling us there's securities. Which ones? I'm not going to tell you about a particular asset, right?
The majority of them.
Just say one of them, man. Just tell us one is not a security. But then Payne's like, I'm not sure why Gary Gensler keeps rejecting requests, but I'll keep asking because Charles Payne is no nonsense. Cut right through the pandering and the smoke screen, and Gary will be. I love how you have that like old school flicker in your video.
Every so often. I think
it's an effect, Jeff.
It is a nice effect. I think XRP Panic got it. I am a time traveler.
That is true. Traveling in time
from another dimension.
But are you in the future or are you in the past, Jeff? Because if you are, could you buy me some Bitcoin, please? Are you in 2009? Because I'd buy me a little Bitcoin action there.
Going back to 2009.
I'll give you the $100 when you get back.
Sweet.
About $100 worth of Bitcoin when it's 0.0004. Gosh, man.
Oh, now we
can you imagine that? It'd be some silly kind of stuff. So Jeff, I think we lost Jeff. He's like in the middle of a frozen thing there.
Okay. Am I good? Can you hear me? Or
we can hear you. You just can't. Yeah, just your video frozen. Well, really cool looking. It's got a cool little line across it.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But as long as we can hear you, I think that's the most important part. I wanted to talk about this.
Hey,
look at that. I'm on the screen twice. This is weird.
Double the trouble.
You can at least switch that to yourself there, buddy. I think you have a photo in there, no? That's so weird. That is so weird, man. One of the things, Jeff, is that if you, like, let's say you're into a lot of crypto, right? So you purchased a bunch of stuff. And the thing is like, let's face it, Jeff, we're not going to all be here forever. At some point, we buy the farm and we're into the next dimension. You're, 6 feet under, whatever euphemism you want to use there. But there hasn't been anything really interesting to sort of guard against that because you got your keys, you got your exchanges, you have part of it over here. It's all over the place, right? It's kind of a mess. And this is a really novel idea here, but this is something called, it's a crypto dead man switch, Sarcophagus, which is funny. Raises 5.47 million from venture capitalists via a DAO.
Man, the Sarco token.
Sarco, baby. Sarcophagus launched its Sarco token 1 year ago and its DAO in summer 2021 and just used both to bring in VC money. Look at that, Jeff. There's a Sarcophagus right there. So where do you want your crypto sent after you die? Have you thought about the fact that if you're the only one who knows your keys, the coins will be lost once you're gone? Sarcophagus is a decentralized dead man switch, allowing users to set instructions to be carried out by a smart contract if the user is incapacitated. And it just raised 5.47 million in unique fashion by selling DAO tokens to venture capitalists, a clever combination of traditional VC fundraising and the bleeding edge DAO approach that typically circumvents VC. So that's pretty interesting. Jeff, your thoughts on this? So it seems like a pretty good idea on its face, right?
It's kind of a cool idea. I mean, really, you think about it, there's got to be some sort of a way to overcome this because you definitely don't want them lost, so you want to be able to find a good solution here to hand them over, so why not?
Do you remember that story a couple of years ago? It was one of the family heirs of the Carnegie Mellon family there.
Right.
He was in Mexico. He died unexpectedly and took with him, they think, hundreds of millions of dollars. A lot of it was in XRP. So
very, very unfortunate.
Yeah. So they announced on Thursday it comes from VC. They put all the VC firms that they have in there. As Sarcophagus wrote in its announcement, the investors were required to work directly with the DAO, and votes were conducted approving the respective investor agreements, investing schedules. The best part, all recorded on chain, available for the public forever. It's not one of these things where you don't know. If you wanted to see, who, blockchain.com Ventures, Low Enterprises, Coral DeFi, whichever one of these venture capitalist firms, it's all recorded. So that's kind of an interesting thing too, because it's a DAO. Because
it's really cool. really cool until they launched it as an ERC20.
Yeah, lost me at the ERC20, and this is
Lock it up with our ERC20, and then you'll lose 50% of it in gas fees.
well, that's what's going to be interesting about Flare Finance. This is where I see all this meme 2.0. Meme 2.0. That is 2.0 right there. Just static with the yellow line across it. Yeah, they launched it as an ERC20 utility token January 2021. A year ago is one of the projects included in the token sale platform. CoinList Spring 2021 seed batch. And CoinList promotes early stage crypto projects that aren't really doing token sales. So then Sarcophagus formed a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, last summer. And by first building out a DAO with the usual crypto community members and anons, then getting capital from VCs by making them members. This is kind of an interesting take. I like this because usually you would use the DAO to bypass the venture capitalists, right? You remember, some of the more popular ones. You had the one that was going to be Constitution DAO, where everybody bought into it and had a vote of what would happen had they won the one of the 12 remaining original copies of the Constitution of the United States, what they would do with it.
Fortunately, they didn't win it.
And they paid a crap ton in gas fees trying to return the money.
What a disaster.
Yeah, so DAOs have raised a combined $10 billion in assets in today's crypto prices. What about today's? I mean, it's changed. It could have been like 20 billion like just 2 weeks ago.
So let's see, how does this thing work? What does it do exactly?
So it works by giving a person a series of actions to complete to verify that they are indeed alive. The dead man switch is triggered if a person does not perform the actions. Now, a user creating their sarcophagus provides the Ethereum address that accesses a file when the protocol is triggered. They also include a recipient's public address and date to which to try to opening the sarcophagus. But I see, what if you're busy? What if you're
putting a date? How do you know?
Well, the thing about it is, like, if you have a smart contract and this is what it says. The dead man switch is triggered if the person doesn't perform the actions. So you have to perform the actions every so often. And when you don't, then it executes the smart contract and notifies the person. What happens if you're lazy? But what happens if you're lazy and you're like, oh, and all of a sudden it executed, but then now you're screwed. Anymore. You don't have the money. You're not rich anymore. You don't have the money.
Whoever you gave it to is.
Yeah, it's like, and then your wife's like, see you later, sucker.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. Then she's on to husband 2.0.
2.0. Man, right?
It's like that.
I thought it was an interesting sort of take on an age-old question of like, what do you do when that possibly happens? And so I got to tell you, so really excited about this guest coming up on the channel here because first of all, top ace person, number one. Don't want to give about too much of it away, but anyway, Jeff, we have none other than on Thursday night, we will have Brian Monarch coming in here. You're like, well, who's Brian Monarch? Well,
I know.
First of all, he's an outstanding stand-up comedian. If you ever watch his stuff, it's good, funny stuff. Funny, edgy, great, and you'll laugh quite a bit. And then, so let's look at this here. Let me go ahead and share this. But this right here is the best one yet. And Jeff, we just got to be careful with this because, but I wanted to. So he said, wow, XRP Army, actual footage of the SEC Ripple settlement negotiations. This is how I picture them. This is starring Brad Garlinghouse and Gary Gensler. So let's open this puppy up. You hear sound?
Here we go.
Unless, of course, you pay me $100 billion.
Silence.
Show me the money.
Show you what money?
Show me the money. Show me the money. You had me at hello, tear. Nothing? Talk to the hand, because the face don't want to hear it anymore.
What hand? Talk to your hand?
You ain't all that in a bag of potato chips.
What are you talking about?
Don't go there, girlfriend. Mm-hmm.
Whose girlfriend?
Don't mess with me. I'm one crazy mofo. I had to pop a cop because he wasn't giving me my props in Oaktown. No? I heard that somewhere.
Really?
So long.
Oh
Yeah.
God, he's funny.
Yeah, the Gary Gensler. So yeah, so Brian Monarch will be here. He will be here, comedian, deep faker. He does a lot of great deep fakes too, but there he is right there. He'll be here on Thursday. He's also been on Comedy Central, Fox, Hulu. Got his Insta account too. But yeah, good stuff, man. Probably can't
wait.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting, pretty awesome. And he did a really nice job on that one, because that Gensler one, when he's doing this thing, I just want a shot. I just want that thing just sort of just isolated.
Do you have that one?
What's that?
The one with Gensler.
Which one with Gensler?
Where's the Gensler one?
No, it's just this one scene here when he does this little.
Oh, right there you're talking about.
Yeah, just the probably just isolate the one part of him right there, and he's doing his thing.
Whose girlfriend?
Don't mess with me. I'm one crazy mofo. I had to pop a cop because he wasn't giving me my props in Oaktown. No, I heard that somewhere.
Such a ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's all like, look at Garlinghouse, man. Garlinghouse looks like he's about 15 years younger too, doesn't he? Maybe 10.
Right.
I don't know, maybe 10. But anyway, I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, Sophie says people are so clever. Yeah, and his deep fakes are fantastic, and there's a lot of work that goes into that. It's painstaking to get that much video out of it. So he'll come here and he'll explain the process a little bit. What else we have here? Jeff, you think flicking that back and forth is going to change at all?
Do. At some point when I turn it back on, it's going to be fully functional.
Just unplug your camera, then plug it back in.
I don't have that option.
Oh, you don't? Oh, it's the built-in
No.
one? Yeah, that's...
And that one doesn't work so well.
Oh, the old built-in one. But anyway, that's good stuff, man. I mean, I thought that was some really funny stuff. What else do we got, Jeff? I thought this is kind of funny. So there's a lot of funny stories tonight. I mean, this one here is a really good one. But look at this, Jeff. After 13 years, they still hate Bitcoin. The backlash to a Matt Damon ad is just the latest reminder. Lots and lots of people, they just really hate crypto. So what might change their minds? And if you saw that, this is the...
and it was amazing how many people came out against that.
And that was pretty decent. I thought it was decent.
I thought it was a great ad. I saw it come up. I'm like, look how exciting this is. Not only are they having a crypto.com ad, but you've got Matt Damon in the crypto.com ad. I mean, it was
slick.
perfect.
Yeah, it wasn't
really slick. I mean,
it wasn't
that
overly
just shows they made it.
It wasn't preachy or overly like, Bitcoin, digital assets. No, I was talking about the evolution and how things, progress. I just don't understand the mass backlash on this. So Matt Damon's Crypto.com TV ad compares crypto investors to early explorers, mountain climbers, Wright brothers, astronauts, and a guy about to make out with a girl in a club. So it's been airing since October, but this week the mass audience took notice, which I think is good because otherwise it would go unnoticed. The reaction's been brutal. Financial Times crypto critic Jimmy Kelly called the ad grotesque. Come on, Jeff, grotesque. It's a little bit. It's a little out.
That's just brutal. I mean,
it's grotesque. It's not grotesque, so Jeff.
But look at the sources.
By the way, did you know why does the Financial Times have a crypto critic?
A critic.
I critique and I criticize the digital assets. The Daily Beast declared it an embarrassing cash grab.
Is crypto a 5 out of 10?
The Guardian columnist Carol Cadwallader tweeted to her 600,000 followers, who I don't know who they are, but there just isn't enough yuck in the world to describe Matt Damon's advertising a Ponzi scheme.
Well, what is this all? They have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, this is exactly what it is. What this sums up, remember the people, how they talked about the early internet and how ridiculous they sound? What is it? Is it an how does email work? Is it an @ symbol or is it a swishy thing? And then, of course, by now they look like just morons. Where's the Ponzi scheme? again, they're still using that whole Ponzi scheme, Jeff.
Yeah, maybe they should read the definition of Ponzi scheme.
So Damon's hardly the first celebrity to do the paid crypto promotion. Of course, you have FTX, and they're running these ads with Tom Brady, with him throwing the football. It's like goes up to the moon, hits the moon.
Yeah.
Copper, which does institutional crypto custody, unveiling a new ad in November featuring the actor Rebecca Ferguson. She was Jessica recently in Dune. Pulling a cube out of a waterfall and calling copper the unfair advantage. Snoop Dogg, Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, they've all done paid crypto endorsements. All of them avoided this lever of vitriol. I still don't know what they're talking about, Jeff. Thoughts? I mean, these people.
I don't understand why they were so upset about it. I mean, as soon as it came out, they said there was a lot of backlash for him doing that ad, and that ad to me was just spot on point. It was perfect as far as I'm concerned. I saw it come out. I'm like, man, this is exciting. Might not agree with Matt Damon on politics, but him on that ad,
He's a great actor,
on.
Man.
Great actor.
He's a great actor.
Yeah,
And
like
here you go, right here. Thank you, Mixed Mix, otherwise known as J Soul. Super sticker.
J-Soul.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. And why don't we just watch this, Jeff? Do you think it's worthy of watching it? Because
Definitely is. It's fun to watch.
Let's
put it
dig
up
in
there.
what people are all nervous about. Of course, I have to reshare.
Why
it.
they lambasted him so much.
Well, but look who's doing it. I mean, you have a critic at the Financial Times, the Daily Beast. I mean,
how do you become a crypto critic? I want to become a crypto.
I don't know. I think we are crypto. I guess we're crypto talkers.
We do quite a bit of critique.
We do critique a lot of it, but it sounds like it's a negative, like a movie critic. He's just going to go to the movies and stuff like that.
Hey,
so
while you're bringing that up, I just got to give someone a quick shout out. Hang on one second.
Come on, man, Berserker.
Man, we haven't done that in a while.
So let's watch this puppy.
Bring that up.
History is filled with almosts, with those who almost adventured, who almost achieved, but ultimately, for them it proved to be too much. Then there are others, the ones who embrace the moment and commit. And in these moments of truth, these men and women, these mere mortals, just like you and me, as they peer over the edge, they calm their minds and steel their nerves with 4 simple words that have been whispered by the intrepid since the time of the Romans. Fortune favors the brave.
Outstanding. That was a great. It was kind of spot on. And notice when the astronauts were walking out.
Yeah,
the first astronaut's name was Satoshi. It's just like, I mean, the whole thing, from start to finish, there was emotion saying, people that really, are the ones taking those bold first few steps, and then everybody else not so much, but it's great. What are people so worried about?
I don't know.
Is the most grotesque thing ever.
It's grotesque, Jeff. Oh,
grotesque.
God,
that was a grotesque ad.
Look at this. Even the tagline's great.
By the intrepid since the time of the Romans. Fortune favors the brave.
Dude, fortune does favor the brave, and fortune
That's right.
favors the brave. And people are going to remember that grotesque saying 5 years from now, when a lot of us are saying, fortune favors the brave. Why is that? Because people that are willing to risk, and that's kind of what they're like laying out there, using a lot of positions from history, getting to the top of Mount Everest, or, the Wright brothers first to flight. But the risk and the reward aspect of it is insane.
All right, check out XRP Panic. Expect a counter ad from the SEC. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
A counter ad.
The sad thing is,
you're going to see him go down the assembly line of the Model T and go backwards in time to horsewhips.
Yeah, the sad thing is, Jeff, is I can't imagine, and I think it would be pretty ridiculous. So here's EC2189. Thank you for that. He says, maybe a crypto ad deep faking Orson Welles will do. Ooh, I like it. Me likey that one. Yeah. There you go. Nice. I like the way that sounds. And also to XRP Speedboat says, it's bravery to be part of the OTC family. Well, let's not. There you go. A little bit of bravery.
Super bravery.
Super bravery. And, you know, fortune favors. Who, Jeff?
Brave. The OTC family.
The brave Jeff. Fortune. And because the funny part about it is everyone calls you crazy until you're not crazy anymore. It's like, you're crazy. The Berserker says, like smashed. Is a Berserker or Hulk in here? I mean, which do we have? Crazy. Smash like smashed.
Crazy.
Which we, yeah, so it's always
crazy like that.
Crazy.
SEC being like, keep your dollars in the bank.
So Jeff, you know what I found today was my my little goat. This is my little goat that I was actually a gift from my older daughter and son-in-law last year. And this is he's actually a goat, not like the greatest of all time, just a goat. Tell me if you can hear this, Jeff.
Oh yeah, we heard that. Oh yeah.
So it's just a screaming goat.
Nice. Hey, where is it? Chip, I'm glad Andres came in. Let me know that my camera's all messed up.
I didn't recognize that, Jeff.
Nobody paid attention that my camera was all messed up. We haven't noticed.
How did that go by me?
Rob XRP. Jeff's cam isn't working.
Yeah, it hasn't been working for most of the show. It started with the flickering, and then the flickering turned into a line, and then the line turned into it's just sometimes what happens. And you know, this is one of the reasons. There you go. Or you can look like me, but if you do that,
I can just do this, and then look at that.
But change your photo, Jeff.
Talk.
It's weird seeing me like talking back at me. It's like,
all right.
It's a very strange.
If I can find a good. While we're talking, I'll find a good photo to put up there.
Yeah, but you should have one in there, I think, already. No, maybe I'm wrong. So I thought this was interesting. This right here, I mean, we just keep getting deeper down this rabbit hole. So this is Christine Moy. This is, of course, Crypto Ready. She put this awesome tweet out. And again, she always uncovers and finds some really good stuff. But Christine Moy of JP Morgan at Onyx, she's one of the two JP Morgan Onyx representatives on the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance board of 15. Goldman Sachs started trading on JP Morgan's blockchain platform, Onyx, in June. And this is the video right here where let's just watch a little bit of this video here. Let me just make sure that that's up all the way. And there you go, just on the bottom left here.
The second pillar of our strategy is around blockchain-based payments. People have mostly heard about JP Morgan Coin, which is US dollars on payment. We're actually taking a multi-rail approach to enable global cross-border payments on blockchain. Not only do we have JP Morgan Coin Payments, which enables 24/7, 365 programmable payments around the world, we also launched a new company in Singapore called Partier with our investment, including investment from Temasek and DBS, to basically build next-generation blockchain-based correspondent bank payments rails. The second pillar of our strategy is around blockchain-based payments.
So, Jeff, are you getting what she's saying here?
Listening.
One of the most damning things I think I've heard when she says they're building blockchain-based, they're using the JP Morgan coin. They got a new company over in Singapore that's going to focus on this on payment rails. Wow, that sounds really familiar. And so when you know how long it takes for a conspiracy to be found true? About 6 or 7 months, Jeff. Usually 6 to 8 months. You know, it's a conspiracy until people start digging this stuff up. Because if you remember about a year ago, you know, a lot of people out there, digital asset investors, one, and John Deaton, two, leading the charge, Crypto Ready, just talking about all this stuff about the Ethereum Foundation, right? It's kind of damning for her to say, well, yeah, it's JP Morgan coin. Oh, yeah, you know, I mean, they've been using this. We're using this. We're setting up some cross-border payment company. And I just find it to be very, it's starting to sound like people were like, well, it's not really a competitor. It's not a competitor at all. And if we look at the board of directors here, we can kind of like see if we notice anybody here, but let's just go through who they are. If you look over here, you got John Whelan from Santander and David Treat from Accenture. Accenture's also a Ripple partner. Got Dan Burnett from EEA. York Rhodes from Microsoft. You got Victor Wong from Block Apps. Jeremy Millar from Consensus. He's the chief of staff over there. And of course, who else do we know from Consensus, Jeff? Your pal Joe Lubin. You got Aya Mikiguchi. She's the executive foundation director. You've got Tyrone Lobin. He's from JP Morgan. You got Matthew Spoke from the Open Foundation. You got Peter Golder, Six Digital. Palm NFT Studio, Dan Heyman. You got another board member from Accenture, Michael Klein, Christine Moy, who was featured in that video. She's the managing director of Onyx, and Onyx, of course, owned by JP Morgan. And another Microsofter, you got Taylor O'Malley, and then Taz Dienez, and he's the Ethereum Foundation. It's certainly sounding really weird, Jeff, all of this. Isn't it starting to like these start connecting these dots? Very odd.
Strange. Very odd. How crazy this is.
That you're talking.
I can't switch it.
You just upload a new picture, Jeff.
Can't. It doesn't show me where to upload it. There's nowhere to upload.
No, in the bottom thing where it says edit.
Edit?
I believe, yeah.
Isn't? No, it's not there.
I can see there on the screen.
What?
No,
over here. Oh, I see.
Can you do it there or no?
Ah, yes. Now I see.
Okay.
Oh, how very nice.
There you go. It's very nice. I like it. It's nice, Jeff. There you go.
Very nice.
All right. So now, Jeff, did you know your video's not working, Jeff?
I had no idea. It's crazy.
So,
it's crazy like that.
For some reason, it doesn't seem to be working really well. Let me see what this next. Oh, so I thought this was. It's interesting when these kind of things, these little survey things come out. This was put out by CoinGape News, one of the crypto trades. As per Bloomberg, CZ from Binance net worth is now even more than Satoshi, who was the creator of Bitcoin. So if we look at the chart, Changpeng Zhao is worth 95, almost 96 billion, Jeff. Of course, Satoshi, whoever Satoshi is, the Satoshi wallet's worth 45.8 billion. But of course, you got our pal Sam Bankman-Fried. He's in there with 15 billion. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but FTX started 3 years ago, right? 2018.
Oh man, the guys! Can you imagine? 3 years in, just crushing it.
Then you got Brian Armstrong from Coinbase. He's at 8.9 billion.
He actually disputes that net worth. So he said that it's not quite the 96 billion they're claiming it to be, but man.
Well, of course, Jeff, if you had 96 billion, you're like, I don't have 96 billion. It's not me. I would say the same thing. I'd be like, oh, it's not me. It probably isn't that much, but this is what's really weird. It's like you got 5.1 billion is the one of the Winklevoss. So you got obviously Cameron has like a little bit more. One is 5.1 billion, the other one is 5.3 billion, right?
It's amazing.
Well,
I mean, but to see that Sam Fried, so the Winklevoss twins obviously been around for a while. That means FTX is just crushing it. Crushing it. You don't see Gemini out there, putting their name on stadiums, It's crazy.
Yeah, but they're certainly doing well, aren't they, Jeff?
Man, yeah. Not gonna say their $5 billion isn't good, but man.
Well, and then you see that Mike Novogratz, of course, he was one of the early investors, I believe, in Ethereum too.
Oscar agrees with that. What a noob.
5 billion, Jeff, with a B.
What a noob.
Then you got Fred Ersham. He's at 3 billion. But you know who's missing from this list, Jeff? Somebody who's one of the founders of Ripple. That person's name is Chris Larson. He's sitting at 6 billion. That's the latest for him. 6 billion. And he's not even on the list.
Who's on? Oh, now I lost my avatar. Look at that. What the heck?
Jeff, he's not even on the list. So he would be sandwiched right between ahead of the Winklevoss twins, right underneath Brian Armstrong there. So I guess Jeff finally made a dash for it. But if you look about that, you're thinking These are all the people in crypto. And so who is omitted in this whole scenario? Why, none other than Chris Larson, which I think is kind of bizarre. Why he's missing from this whole thing.
You still hear me?
I hear you, man.
Oh, that's so bizarre.
So bizarre, so bizarre.
But
I was just thinking, why would you omit? You know, especially Ripple. It's been around a long time. At one point, it was the second biggest by market cap. It had overtaken Ethereum, and then all of a sudden, you know, this lawsuit happens, and next thing you know, the competition's getting into payment rails and all kinds of stuff and coins, and it just sounds a little bit shady there, Jeff. Just saying.
I agree.
Just a little bit on the shady side.
Yes, a little bit shady.
A little bit on the shady side.
See if I can get this going here. There we go. Trying to hook up this nice avatar. See
Can
if
you go in there?
Anything.
That seems to be all right. But it doesn't have the little blip power thing when you're like talking. That's weird, right?
How's that?
That's better.
There we go. That's much better.
Seems to be working okay, Jeff.
Trying to zoom in on that sign. It says Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein, right there, baby. So here's something interesting. So this is, and I've kind of wondered about this, Jeff. What do you think about this? You've got Leonidas, who put out this tweet. After 4-month pause, Jed McCaleb has started selling his XRP again with 700 million XRP left in his taco stand wallet. Why wait 4 months, Jeff?
Man.
Especially when the price dipped. You know, it's like
shuffling things around. You know, he's just and when you're sitting on 700 million XRP, then man, it's all good. You're not too worried about it. What's up, Tony?
What's up, Tony?
What's up, Tony?
Tony. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, really. It's the fact that he's selling it all. Because remember, all XRP, even XRP sold in the secondary market, all securities, Jeff, every single one of them. But meanwhile, Jed McCaleb, who's one of the original founders, nowhere to be found in the original, complaint, Ripple v SEC v Ripple, right? And so then you've got John Deaton said the complaint versus Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson claims that XRP has no utility, and the founders / CEO's sale of XRP was to enrich themselves. The SEC made the same claim during oral argument. If the SEC truly believed these claims, why didn't they seek an injunction to stop ongoing sales?
That's the big question mark.
Why, Jeff?
Why?
Because maybe they don't believe it, Jeff. Maybe you're right, because you would have had an injunction about any further sales. No. You would have alleged fraud. No. The whole thing is just like one big movie. It's got ups and downs and timelines, and goalposts keep being moved, and it's just getting to the point of where it's just getting very bizarre, Jeff. Very bizarre indeed.
Absolute chaos in the space.
So bizarre, so bizarre. Now, what else do we have here? I'm going to pull up another tweet here. This is a good one. Here we go. So the Financial Services Committee, Financial Services, the GOP, top Republicans, Patrick McHenry, Senator Toomey blast the SEC Gov Chair, Gensler, for limiting public input on rulemakings. They demand Gensler remedy this unprecedented pattern by extending the comment period for all proposals at least by 60 days. So, and then Patrick McHenry chimed in and said, the notice and comment process keeps regulators accountable to the public, and it's critical to effective rulemaking. Chair Gensler must immediately extend these comment periods so stakeholders have the opportunity to refine and improve proposed regulations. Jeff, what are your thoughts on this one?
Man, what are my thoughts on this? I'll tell you, I think that, Patrick McHenry needs to come on the chain.
Oh, there you go.
That's the starting point. I think that's going to be, key with everything. But anytime you bring up, Gary Gensler, in any of these conversations, we have a major issue, because Gary Gensler just like day in and day out, he just seems to keep coming out against the retail investors, against, what's going to be best for the people, and always, kind of spinning things into, it's kind of crazy because we brought this up before, but we look at, how many people are upset with Gary Gensler in the crypto space. And then you go into the stock trading space and people are go on Reddit and you see how many people are just lambasting, any type of commentary coming out of Gary Gensler. And then here you have Patrick McHenry, and you've got, many others that are just also extremely upset with this guy that is now the chair of the SEC. The guy, he can't win. And does that, sometimes you have to say, well, if everyone's so upset with you, maybe you're doing the right thing. But in this scenario, you got to take a step back and say everyone is so furious with him that maybe he's not doing the right thing. Maybe all these comments are not in his mind. He's like spot on, when he's down in his basement or his house, that room, wherever he's
wherever he's locked up. I like this right here. This keeps the whole notice and comment process keeps regulators accountable. So do you want to bring some accountability, transparency to it? No, it's like, so he doesn't want it to be extended. I mean, this is great. I love how he just says he must immediately extend the comment phase. And look over here, we got another one from Mixed Mix, otherwise known as J Soul. Appreciate that super sticker. Thank you for that. It's just a bizarro thing, Jeff. I don't know. I don't even know where we go at this point, but it's great to see people like Patrick McHenry pushing back on this, people in Congress. And you know what, Jeff? I'll be honest with you. Can you rock a bow tie like that? It's pretty solid right there, Jeff.
I don't think I've never worn a bow tie in my life.
I think I had to wear when I was a kid. Like my mom would dress me up as like a little. I think there's this one where I'm in a little suit with shorts and a jacket, and I'm like, what the hell kind of suit is that? That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. But what's he talking about? He's just meeting constituents right there. Thank you for hosting me a tour. So, he's out there with the people. He's out there representing, doing his thing. He's happy to see North Carolina embrace financial innovation and tech to create jobs and give consumers greater choice. New strategy for fintech going on over there. North Carolina is already a huge force in the financial services industry with companies like Bank of America and Fidelity that he hailed from there. He says, as a top Republican on the Financial Committee and a longtime proponent of fintech, I previously led similar regulatory sandbox legislation at the federal level. I look forward to continuing to help innovators. Now, Jeff, this statement right here is exactly opposite of someone like Gary Gensler, who just says the buzzwords. I'm here to protect investors. That's the main mission of the. Oh, I'm sorry, you sold the security? No protection for you, bud. Sorry. You don't get protection. So it's interesting to see his. I met World War II veteran John DeWitt Waters, presented with the flag flown over the Capitol. It was humbling to hear about his experience serving our country during World War II. Very cool.
Man, you don't hear too many people, that are outspoken like that, looking for exceptionalism, and highlighting, individuals' exceptionalism. But Patrick McHenry, he's really, been, pretty outstanding.
There's John DeWitt right there. There's the flag that was flown over the Capitol. This guy fought in World War II, man. He sat down for a little talk. But anyway, this is the kind of stuff you like to see. It's actually ongoing in good versus what we normally see, which is not so good, Jeff.
Right.
Not so good.
Very cool.
Let's see what else we have. So there's a story here too. This is the rich get richer, rethinking Bitcoin's power as an inflation hedge.
Oh yeah, I like this. This is this is interesting because you think about right now getting ready to go through a major inflationary period, right? And individuals with lots of money are always looking for ways to make sure they preserve their lots of money. And at this point, looking at Bitcoin as a hedge to protect their wealth is smart, and so there you go. There you have it.
There you have it. That's a really cool image, that big Bitcoin logo with this moss growing all over it. Very cool.
And if you scroll down and you want to pull up the very last article in the Keep folder, kind of tie into this. which is, a billionaire puts 50% of his net worth into Bitcoin.
Is that Michael Saylor?
No, I don't think it is.
His personal net worth. This is interesting.
This is big.
Oh, Bill Miller betting big on Bitcoin. Allocate 50% of his personal net worth to Bitcoin and related equity. XRP.
There you go. See that? You like how they say that related equity.
Yeah.
Right.
Cardano.
So it's not just BTC. Oh yeah, he's mixing it up.
Solana. Probably dabbling a little H bar in there somewhere. Yeah, so he's betting big on Bitcoin, touching multi. So it's a good time to go in. It's just it was hovering below 40K. He no longer considers himself just a Bitcoin observer, but rather a Bitcoin bull, he said in a well-tracked interview. He now holds 50% of his net worth and related investments in major industry firms like Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy and BTC mining firm Stronghold Digital Mining. An early Amazon investor, Miller owns almost 100% of the rest of his portfolio in Amazon. It's good to be early, Jeff. It's good to be early, right?
It's definitely good to be early. Do you think he's been parading around this whole time as an Amazon maxi? And he's like, you guys are invested in what? Amazon. That's it. Amazon all the way.
Amazon.
Amazon. The only stock you should hold.
Don't hold anything else. But now it's Bitcoin. So this is interesting. He bought his first Bitcoin in 2014. And back then, Bitcoin was only around $200. So he purchased a little more over a period of time. And then it became $500. And then he didn't buy it for years until Bitcoin plummeted to 30K after hitting around 66,000 in April 2021, he said. This time I started buying. Can you imagine you're buying it when it's 200 and 500 and you don't go back in until it's 30K?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a belief system, Jeff.
What was going on in between?
I don't know.
It's like it's 200, it's 1,000, it's 10,000,
30 grand,
20, pulls back to 3. He sees 20, he sees 3. Nope, that's not good. Hang in there a little bit longer. 60 back to 30. There's your buy point. Interesting.
Oh, sorry.
Man, I mean that's just really, really cool. But it's funny. The other day, somebody commented, they're like, I'm not here for Bitcoin. I'm here for XRP. Why are you guys talking about Bitcoin? Man, you look at this. This is all about the space. All about the crypto space.
Well, look at this, Jeff.
Crazy.
The billionaire investor noted he looks at Bitcoin as an insurance policy against financial catastrophe, as well as a powerful investment tool. It's been outstripping gold. It's been outperforming gold. It's outperforming the S&P 500 over the last 11 years. I mean, it's incredible. Maybe 12. I don't know. I haven't seen the latest stats, but he poured at least 50% in there. It's amazing. I think the average investor, this is Bill talking, that should ask himself or herself, hey, what do you have in your portfolio that has kind of a track record? Number one is very, very underpenetrated, can provide a service of insurance against financial catastrophe that no one else can provide and can go up 10 times or 50 times. The answer is nothing. And he's making a really good point here, Jeff. What do you have in your portfolio that can do that? Zippo.
Nothing.
In a standard portfolio, right? Buying stocks, bonds, that kind of thing. Nothing comes close to what we find in crypto. And a lot of times people miss the fact that you're talking about Bitcoin, but what do they say here? And related equity. That's other digital assets. That's how they coin it here. But that's what they're talking about. Bitcoin's a brand name. Bitcoin stands for
invested in MicroStrategy and a bunch of others. But these guys, Chip, these guys know. I mean, think about, he takes 50% of his holdings, of his wealth, puts it into crypto assets, looks at Bitcoin, knowing, if it's going to go back, it doubles again, right? It goes back from 40, let's say it's 80, 100, hits 60 again, whatever it hits. The guy just don't, I mean, he walks away. He's like, who knows how many billions he's worth, but holy crap. Him and
50%, baby, that's going all in. And the funny thing is that Saylor territory, but he's also got a piece of that Saylor territory too. But Jeff, when do we stream?
We stream tonight. We stream 6 days a week, Chip. Do you know that? Sunday through Thursday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you don't know what 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is in your time zone, you can Google it.
Yeah,
that's all I can say. At some point, we'll put something on the website where you can say, what is it in my time zone? And until we figure that out, that could be really cool. You can say, I'm going to pick my time zone. It'll tell me when they stream. Be really cool. And then you guys can tune in every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. And Jay, what is up, Jay? XRP to the moon in 22. By the way, Jeff is a time traveler from the future.
Hell yeah, Jeff.
And there you go.
Richer than hell.
Tuning back in from the future.
From the future, Jeff. I like that. But of course, we have a lot of people in the future right now in the chat from down under Australia or New Zealand or Japan or anywhere over there in Asia. In the future, Jeff. Underpenetrated. That is a fun word. I almost think I wasn't pronouncing that right. I was underpenetrated.
How do you bring that into an economic article? Well, there you go. They just did.
They just did. So there you go, right there. Big Bill Miller, swill, swaggin', blue pillar. Say that 4 times fast. I could barely get through it once, Jeff. Bill Miller, swill, slaggin', blue pillar. Go ahead, give it a shot.
Bill Miller. That's it.
No, you say Bill Miller, swill, swaggin', Bill Pillar.
Bill Miller, swill, slaggin', Bill Pillar.
See, you said Bill like I did. Bill. It's blue. It's hard to say because you're in that. It's like a tongue twister. Bill Miller, swill, swaggin', blue pillar. Man.
Yo, Bill Miller, swill, swaggin', blue pillar.
So you had to really fight that Bill. You got to fight saying Bill. You got to fight saying Bill. You're like,
swill, swaggin'.
That's what happens. Anyway. And now for the fluff.
Now for the fluff.
My crypto lingo. The whole show is fluff, my man. I'm going to tell you. What are you going to say? Yeah, crypto. And he's like, now for the fluff. Well, and there's you get fluff all over the place. And the show is.
Chip. So when XRP goes to 589, I'm getting a flux capacitor.
Dude, I'm all in on that. Like I said, just go back and buy some. I'll leave notes for myself everywhere. Buy Bitcoin. What? It'll be in my writing. I'll think 1 or 2 things. I'm crazy or buy Bitcoin.
That's
right.
But
anyway, guys, that's all we have. Oh, love the time slot. Coffee time for me. That's great. Well, good. Then you can come back on the show. Ari's coming back on the show. Yes, she's coming back. Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah. So I don't know if you saw it. It's always funny because we like just featured one of her tweets and I don't know if she sees that or not, but anyway.
Just like we had just got done talking about Mr. B and boom, he popped up.
Mr. B's in there. It's like, okay, who are we going to talk about next? Talk about Gary. We talk about Gary Gensler, but he's not in the chat.
Well, if we start talking about the International Monetary Fund, then, we'll get
DNI, yeah.
DNI will pop in.
Digital Nomad, yeah, it's all good. But anyway, guys, we'll be back again tomorrow with another show for you guys. So that's all we have. Anything, Jeff?
That's it. And if you're brand new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button because that's what you guys got to do.
Because we're losing subscribers over the last week. We actually had a week. Not only slow growing, but just not growing at all. So
I don't even know how it's possible. I looked at the different videos and none of them are showing negatives. So thank you, YouTube.
Jeff,
thank you, YouTube, for the digital algorithm.
There's something going on there,
hit that red
Jeff.
Subscribe button, bell notifier, and you guys know the rest. And with that, we will be back on again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the best and the brightest in all of YouTube crypto space.
Yes.
All you guys out there in the crypto
sphere. Okay, guys, we will see you tomorrow. Chip and Jeff out. See you guys on the next one.
Out.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.
And we're back.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.